right. So today we have Jeremy Larsen with us from Acumatica. Wealth of knowledge. Can you introduce yourself, your role, and kind of what you've done before this role with Acumatica?
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for having me. And hi, everyone. My name is Jeremy Larsen. I am currently the Vice President of Product Management at Acumatica. But my career started, I'll say decades ago, which makes me feel really old. But I've lived and breathed construction since I could hold a hammer. Really, I started out a career of being a business owner. I was a residential construction owner for the first 8 years of my career. But really, and I was a QuickBooks user. I was QuickBooks for construction at the time. They had it then, and loved the technology side of the world, and got in ground floor. Actually, I left my own business, got in ground floor at Timberline Software, an ERP
A
solution.
familiar name.
Yes, and I did customer support for a few years, but found my way to the practice of product management, which was right up my alley, which was, listening to customer needs and then solving those needs through delivering software. I spent my career there for almost 10 years and moved 7 miles down the road. That
Yep.
business actually was in a town called Beaverton, Oregon. I moved to Portland, Oregon, to a competitor called Viewpoint Software, where I built the product management practice and helped them build out um, construction project management,
Hmm.
and then that company became Trimble
Yeah.
Software
Hmm.
over time. So and then found my way to Acumatica, another construction ERP provider, but beyond construction. Obviously, Acumatica delivers solutions to manufacturing and distribution and e-commerce companies as well as construction.
Hmm.
My focus is, building a strong and long-term construction strategy for Acumatica and for the construction industry. We
Yep.
also recently released professional services with
Hmm.
a focus on engineering firms and architectural firms. So,
Awesome.
a quick overview of my journey, but it has spanned many years, and along the way have gotten to collaborate with many great people in the industry, and obviously lots of great construction companies. So I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
fortunate.
Heavily involved in the contractor
Mhm.
space. You obviously have been dealing with their problems for a while
Mhm.
and trying to solve them with software. What were those in the past? Like, what was the primary problems you saw the software solving, even a decade ago, right? Or maybe two?
Yeah, I mean, I think where it got really exciting, going from, I'll be honest, when I started at Timberline Software, we were talking about DOS, um, estimating and
Yeah.
accounting, and things had transferred to, Windows and better user
Hmm.
experiences. And
Mhm.
I think along the way, the users of these types of systems they just had to train themselves for it, however the software worked.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I think the what got exciting was better technology always supports a better user experience,
Yep.
one way or
Absolutely.
another. And so that's continued to evolve. And I think key areas that come to mind were when we started talking about the cloud.
Yeah.
Was one where, let's store documents and collaborate on them. And this wasn't, I mean, really that long ago. We're talking about
Yeah.
later 2000s when those types of solutions started to appear, that technology started to
Mhm.
get popular. And talking with contractors at that time, it was like, I am not storing my data anywhere other than my
Yeah.
servers in the closet.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep.
But that quickly evolved. I think the next really exciting thing was mobility.
Hmm.
And mobility came forward with the iPhone 3, where folks started
Hmm.
seeing an opportunity to do work someplace different than the office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could actually get more efficient, and so that was another big transformation. And then I think in the last, let's just call it, 5 to 10 years, how data can transform a business. So many technology companies focused on data in. How easy can I make it to be to get the data in? But there has always been the problem of getting it out.
Mhm.
And simply put, reporting. Right? How do I get to my reports? And something as simple as that, you would think that that would be a focus, 20 years ago. But it's really shown its light of how powerful data is and what you can do with it. Um, Obviously, the new horizon. So what you heard was BI, business information and analytics. But now the new horizon is really building upon that, and now AI, and which we
Short
like to call
acronyms.
Acumatica intelligence. And
Perfect.
and so it's building upon that and say how can we use the data to assist the user? Again, comes full circle back to the user experience.
Yeah.
So construction is a really old school business. I hate saying that, but it's true. It takes a while for them to adapt new technologies. What do you see? How do you see the response to like moving towards AI, moving towards this automated workforce? How do you see construction companies responding to that, and what's Acumatica's response to that?
Yeah, really good question. I think,
Mhm.
in terms of, and I think it has been one of those, almost an excuse in a sense. A lot of I mean, since I've been in technology companies, it's like, construction companies, they're laggards. It
Mhm.
takes them a long time to adopt and catch up. But I also think that, they're realistic. They're builders themselves,
Mhm.
right? So their expectation of technology companies is to build and finish a project. And
Mhm.
I think,
Absolutely.
too often you see technology companies skipping around to the new shiny technology
Mhm.
and not finishing what we have told our industry we were going to do for them. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think part of their lack of adoption can be sometimes a lack of trust
Yeah.
in our technology companies delivering. So that being said, you go into these construction firms and you see some of the technology that they're using, and looking at how to solve areas of pre-construction and change orders and reducing time frames, and they're doing a lot more things digitally up front than they are, actually on site.
Yeah.
They're problem solvers and they're trying to leverage as much as they can. So to kind of come back to your question is, as a technology partner, we need to finish our jobs. Like we need to finish our
Mhm.
projects for these
Yeah.
contractors and really give them what they're asking for,
Yeah.
and then they'll adopt it. I think I've seen proof of it where if you give them right the solution, they will adopt it and they will love it and use it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So where Acumatica is thinking and delivering in this, specifically around new technology. So AI is just the evolution of BI, and technology has allowed us to leverage data, have systems learn, use the data, learn it, and give the user information they didn't even ask for,
Yep.
right? And so our job is to take old problems that were existing 20 years ago and
Mhm.
solve them in a new way, in a better way. And so where Acumatica's focus is that just that. Like, let's not just talk about AI for AI's
For
sake.
AI's sake.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about solving, the submittal uh, workflow or the change order workflow or the
Yep.
the things that really cause delays in a project, or budgets going over, or people getting hurt on site. Let's go take those problems and help have the data provide us information for how to avoid those things in
Yeah.
the future.
And I think I've noticed similar to what you said, if you give them anyone in the construction space just a cool toy, right? Let's say look, it's AI, it can answer questions for you. If there's no in it for them, no one wants it.
Yeah.
But to your
Yeah.
point, I've seen a lot of contractors adopt technology when it solves a
Mhm.
problem.
Yeah,
right?
like drones is a good example
Yeah,
of that. Like
yeah.
they have people using drones mapping out a whole construction site right now.
Mhm.
That's a
Right.
tangible thing that they know, like, oh, this is going to save me time here
Yeah.
and there and the other. So it's quick, easy to adapt. With technology like software. It's kind of harder to talk about those tangible things on where it's saving time. To your point, like we're still solving the same problems that construction companies 20, 40, 100 years ago had. How to retain the right talent, how to minimize risk, and how to maximize profit. Those are
Right.
the three
That's what
issues
they
that
want.
every construction company has. And that's what we need to solve for.
Yeah.
And AI can do that. Software can do that.
Yeah.
We just have to make sure, like you said, to fully build out all of those components that are going to solve for that.
And deliver the value,
Mhm.
right? I think one thing that
Right.
makes construction, it gives it a soft place in my heart is uh, the construction industry is not about fluff. It's not
Mhm.
about cool things. It's about
Mhm.
they do cool things. Don't get me wrong, but like it's about getting it done.
Mhm.
We are here to cut out the waste and just make it efficient, and
Mhm.
I love that.
Mhm.
And I think that's where it comes in with technology. How do we get machine learning and AI to take care of some things that can make their day more efficient and
Mhm.
make their products higher or their deliveries better? You know,
Mhm.
so I'm super excited. So is there anything you can tease as far as what y'all are working on? You may not be able to, but
Yeah,
I'm
no, I think
yeah,
we good question. We're working on several things that are leveraging new technology
yeah,
to assist the users. And we're some are small things, but I think will be impactful.
yeah,
I always push our teams to find the things that are the cheapest to build and have the highest impact to the users, right? Let's
Mhm.
get them out quickly.
Absolutely.
And so, it does go as simple as how do we give the users a reporting? Like when they log in and say, "Hey, Jeremy, here's your 5 top reports you like," right?
yep,
And it's delivered. I don't have to go ask somebody else to do it. It knows that I want them. I can, or simple things like, "Hey, help me fill out my expense report."
yes,
And it starts the process. It knows some of the receipts that I've already entered. Simple flows like that can really help make a difference and save time. So, AP invoice entry is
yep,
another one we're looking at. So there's several different areas of the product we're enhancing through our new technology and concentrating on workflows. And I would say back office flows as well as front office, more
yep.
operational focus flows for construction.
And selfishly, just to piggy tail off of that, what's something in the system right now that you think is underutilized by contractors that
Good
could
question.
help them in their business now, but it's just underutilized, maybe doesn't get enough press, maybe it's not flashy, so people don't talk about it?
Yeah.
What's something that you think Acumatica has right now that's a key differentiator from maybe the systems that you've worked with in the past, or the industry as a whole, like something that it can solve for contractors' problems now and
Yeah.
it's not being used?
I think there's a couple that come to mind.
Mhm.
The Acumatica is a really robust system. I mean, it
Yeah.
does a lot. And if you go in and look at it, it can become overwhelming about how much data you can see
Mhm.
or have to enter. And we have tools that allow you to simplify screens for the users, call them casual users, or maybe, somebody that's not using the system every day. We can simplify the user experience for them by configuring it. So our system is very
Yeah.
configurable and enriched in that way. So, I think if you think about onboarding new employees onto a system like this, look at ways to make that experience small first
Yeah.
and then broaden it out. I think that's a really differentiating component. And in a lot of cases for software that says, "Oh, I have to go hire a consultant to do that work," and in some cases, great. But our system does allow users to do that
Yeah.
work
Mhm.
themselves,
I
to self-help.
Yeah. I think Daniel would definitely agree. Like, we have so many customers that are able to customize things for themselves, or like generate reports in a creative way that like maybe we didn't even think about. Like, it's such a configurable system, such a customizable system. All you need is a little creativity and some know-how.
Yep.
And you can really get anything out of it.
They tend to, what we kind of recommend to customers is like, we want you to do as much as you're comfortable with. If you want us to help, we're happy to help, but like the more self-sufficient a customer can be, the better off it is for everybody. Right. The goal is to make their system work for them. That's our philosophy. And what we love about Acumatica is 90% of it is toggles and switches at this point. Like, you can get almost everything you want without any development, any code, any, you can use a help article and it'll help you set up what you need. So we love that. And again, we're here to help if that's necessary, but a lot of our customers have kind of gone out on their own and they just call in and ask a quick question and they're back on track. So we think that's awesome. That's one of the things we love.
Like I said, contractors are problem solvers and builders.
Yes.
They like to go find the solutions if they can do it themselves. And so I think the Acumatica platform allows them to be, as creative and as configurable as possible in it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure. Well, I think we don't have any more questions for you. We really appreciate you being on and talking to us about this. We're pumped to see what happens with the AI space with Acumatica. I know that that's something y'all have been working away at, and we're pretty excited about what that's going to do.
Yeah, and we look forward to hearing more about that at Summit. I'm sure you have a few tricks up your sleeve for Acumatica Summit.
It will definitely be a topic of conversation at Summit. So, well, thank you for having me, and it was great talking with you both, and look forward to future.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Thanks, Jeremy.
We'll have to have you at the studio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.